And his own story was as curious as his narrative. The tale of his life is the tale of a writer of incredible vision, an astute analyst and pundit, a lyricist compassionate and callous, a reckless hedonist and disaffected malcontent.
I spit that Wonder Rhymer shit, me and my conglomerates shall remain anonymous, caught up in the finest shit. Get that type of media coverage Obama get, spit that Kurt Vonnegut kid, that blow your brain, Kurt Cobain, that Nirvana shit. Who gon' bring the game back? Who gon' spit that rainbow on the train tracks, that gold rope, that five-finger ring rap, running with my same pack. You can find the Christ where the lepers and the lames at. Life is like a dice game. Oh!
Morocco Dawn. New adornments for the new gods.
Morocco.
Oh!
Morocco. Morocco.
Morocco, new adornments for the new gods.
I was created, now I create. Progression is the only direction. US Art 365.wordpress.com. Check them out. Shimota.
Now let's talk a little bit about the feminine presence in the Great Trinity. In ancient Kemet, there were many trinities, but the most popular one that we're all familiar with is the one of As, Ausar, and Heru. Now we know the story of As, Ausar, and Heru. As supported her divine king by trying to find all of the pieces of his body that had been dispersed by his wicked brother Set. Okay, now I didn't say evil, I said wicked, and we'll get into that shortly. But she brought those pieces together. Unfortunately, she was only able to find 13 and had to recreate the 14th piece on her own to generate the seed that she needed to give birth to Heru. And you'll see the three of them standing together in the center picture. The word Unter is the word for the creator. Within it, you have the letter T and R. T being the feminine principle, R being the masculine principle. So within the Kemetic faith, the creator was both man and woman. And within that, there were different faculties, meaning that there were several different names that the creator had because each name represented a different principle. Not that there were many different gods. They weren't considered gods. They were considered faculties or principles of the divine being. They looked at everything as a balance. So you had to have balance, and without balance, what would you have? The complement, which is chaos. So in the spiritual belief system, you had Ma'at, which was the ultimate balance. But then you had Set, who was chaos and mischief. And now Set, through time, became Satan in various other religions. Our role in our lifetime is to deal with the challenge within us. We talked about the role of Hera-Manket and how we have to raise our higher consciousness to deal with our lower consciousness, and that without that balance, you'll never be a divine being. And that means not only do you have to deal with the lower aspects of making sure that you don't have too much chaos in your life, but you also can't be too self-righteous. Now we talked about Ma'at, and I mentioned to you that every day you have the opportunity to make up for the day that passed. Ma'at had 42 confessions that you had to state every day as a Kemite. You would wake up in the morning and you would quote all 42. You'd start off by saying, I will not do wrong. I will not rob. I will not slay men. I will not speak lies. And at the end of the day, you had to be held accountable So then you would have to go back through and say, I have not done wrong. I have not afflicted any pain. I have not carried off food or spoken any lies. So who's responsible for your ultimate destination? You are. Okay. The belief is that no one else can save you. You must save yourself. And that every day you have that responsibility. And yes, we slip up sometimes. But you have every day you have the day to be reborn. And every day you have that opportunity to relive. Now, how many of you looked up at the ceiling when you went into the tombs yesterday? Did you notice this on the ceiling? Okay. Now, I don't see Athena here. Her daughter would appreciate this since her daughter's name is Heaven. The concept in the Kemetic faith is that the black woman is heaven. They use a black woman to define heaven itself. So you'll see newts stretched out upon the sky. And in the image that you saw, there was a sun that she actually swallowed that went all the way through her body. So she would swallow the sun at night, and it would travel through her body, and she would give birth to it again the next day. And you saw all the stars on the ceiling. Those were the stars of her body. Underneath her, holding her up, is her father, Shu. Shu is the breath. Shu is the fire. Shu is the air that we all breathe. Exactly. And underneath Shu, you'll see Geb. That's her mate. He lies underneath her. And what does he represent? Exactly, the ground, the earth. That's Geb. So now we talked about the fire. We talked about the air. We talked about earth. So what's missing? The fourth element, water. Her mother is Tefnut, which is moisture. She's not represented in this image, and you won't see her represented in too many places, but they write about her very often. And even some of the queens chose to represent themselves as Tefnut because they wanted to recognize the water element within themselves. Now, in studying ancient Kemet, you'll see that women had many more rights than some of us even have today in the United States. They had legal rights where they could manage and dispose of their own private property, which included land, portable goods. They had their own servants, animals, and their own money. It's like having your own bank account. They were able to do that in ancient Egypt. They had marital rights where they can go into contracts for marriage, and they can even have a divorce. In some of our own religious beliefs right now, we cannot have divorces in these days and age. But they were able to have divorces at any time that they chose back in ancient Egypt. Lady Peseshet lived during the 4th dynasty and was credited as being the earliest known female physician in ancient Egypt. Her title was the Lady Overseer of Female Physicians. So her job was to actually look over all of the female physicians in ancient Kemet, and that they would come to her for guidance, and she would supervise their actions, and she would supervise their surgeries. Nebet during the 6th dynasty was called the vizier, a judge, and a magistrate. She was the grandmother of King Pepi I. So she was able to judge in court situations. Can you imagine a woman thousands of years ago being a judge, and now they're questioning whether we can have this Latino woman as a judge today? I mean, that's amazing. Why are we even questioning that? And all these women had the right to vote. We didn't get the right to vote till the 1920s. And we all mentioned before that in order for a man to become Nsabit, it had to go through the royal bloodline of the woman. It had to go through the royal bloodline of the woman.
Tune into M&M Channel 34 and Channel 82 on Saturdays for a dynamic back-to-back lineup of right knowledge, wisdom, and overstanding. Start your Saturday off right with Kemetic Legacy Today at 12 p.m., followed by Kim West at 1 p.m., only in the New York City area. That's Kemetic Legacy Today at 12 p.m. and Kim West at 1 p.m. on M&M.
Morocco adorn. New adornments for the new gods.
Morocco, Morocco, Murkush. Morocco, Morocco, Murkush.
Morocco, Morocco, Murkush.
Morocco, new adornments for the new gods.
And his own story was as curious as his narrative. The tale of his life is the tale of a writer of incredible vision, an astute analyst and pundit, a lyricist compassionate and callous, a reckless hedonist and disaffected malcontent.
I spit that wonder rhymer shit. Me and my conglomerates shall remain anonymous. Caught up in the finest shit. Get that type of media coverage Obama get. Spit that Kurt Vonnegut kid. That blow your brain, Kurt Cobain, that Nirvana shit. Who gon' bring the game back? Who gon' spit that rainbow on the train tracks? That gold rope, that five-finger ring rap. Running with my same pack. You can find the Christ where the lepers and the lames at. Life is like a dice game.